So we've just lost to Swansea, the final score being 2-1 to the Swans, and I come out of this game really just, I'm lost for words. I don't really know what I can say that is going to do that performance, result should I say, any justice from that. We went into this game on the back of a 3-3 draw against Anderlecht, which you would think is bad enough. But we go into this having to prove a point, in my eyes. We had to put in a convincing performance, and we had to get 3 points. And the repercussions of this result, and I said in the review of the Anderlecht game, the mental effect that it would have on the players, it was shown to a great extent, the mental effect it had. And we're not learning, and it's a constant thing with Arsenal that we don't learn from our mistakes. We never learned when we were losing 6-3, 6-1, 5 or whatever to the big teams last season. You know, we continued to play in that style and we continued to suffer heavy defeats for our lacklustre displays. And what we didn't learn from the game against Anderlecht was that we didn't shut up shop in any way whatsoever, and we did the exact same today. And you know what the worst thing about this is? That Swansea didn't even have a fully fit team. Can you imagine if they had the likes of Nathan Dyer out there, how he would have fared against someone like Monreal? It's shocking. It really is shocking. I don't really know what I could say that is honestly going to do this justice, but getting into the performance from Arsenal, the team lineup first of all, it was identical to the one that started against Anderlecht, which in my eyes was the first big problem for us. Starting Monreal at centre-back, we know that this is going to cause problems in every single game we play. Every time Swansea went forward, they looked menacing. Fair play to Monreal though. I thought he had again another resilient display. I think he's putting in a lot of work for the team, and I do feel sorry for him having to play out of position, because I think he's an alright player, just not when he's played at centre-back. He tries his best for the team, he always looks like he's given 110% and more at times, but it's not his role, and he just looks so uncomfortable there, and I do hold him responsible for the second goal we conceded, but I'll get on to that a little bit later. I said we should have started this game with a back four of Bellerin, Mertesacker, Chambers and Kieran Gibbs, and another thing that's frustrating me more than anything at the moment is that Bellerin isn't even getting a look in at the moment. He is, whenever he's played for us this season, bar a couple of mistakes for us, I mean, he's been nothing short of quality. But if we're going to account mistakes in this, Chambers made a load of mistakes today, and he's made a couple of mistakes in previous games. So that shouldn't really be accountable. Bellerin is very young, he's inexperienced, but whenever he's played, he's always tried incredibly hard for the team, and he's full of pace, which is something we're lacking in that defence at the moment. So he should certainly have started this game, and he's not even getting a look in. And we're persisting with Monreal centre-back. It's stubborn, it's frustrating, and you know, I'm repeating myself so many times now, but at the end of the day, it's just not on. It's abysmal. And another player that isn't getting a look in at Arsenal, Joel Campbell. Yaya Sonogo comes back into the side. He came off the bench today in about the 90th minute for some mental reason. And Joel Campbell just doesn't get even a shout in the team whatsoever. Yaya Sonogo comes back, plagued with injuries, never scored a competitive goal for us, and he just instantly replaces Joel Campbell. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense whatsoever. But can you honestly say Joel Campbell would have changed this game for us? I mean, you don't know because he's not there at the time. So, you know, I'm not going to dwell on that topic too much because it's not really relevant to the display that Arsenal put in today. Regarding that first half in general though, I mean, it's really hard for me to comment on it because Arsenal just failed to integrate any kind of momentum into the game. We looked very slow going forward. There was no real movement from any of the players. And Danny Welbeck and Alexis Sanchez, we failed to get them involved in the game. They were so isolated up top. The midfield was very slow. Aaron Ramsey, yet again, failed to set a benchmark in this game. His form is becoming a serious concern at the moment. But then again, the way the rest of the team are playing is just abysmal. And that first half just reflected where so many things have gone wrong for us this term. Just the lack of movement, it was really slow, players failing to make runs, it was flat. And it's the kind of performance you would expect from the likes of, I don't know, when Burnley came to the Emirates. Just a lack of imagination, a lack of creativity. And that's the real worrying thing for me at the moment. And it is a real cause for concern. So considering how flat the first half had been from Arsenal, I really did expect us to go out in that second half and really take the game by the scruff of the neck and go out there and get a goal, which we did through a lovely bit of build-up play. Great little attack from us. Cazorla involved at the heart of it, which I was really pleased to see because he's someone that I've heavily criticised and I wanted to see him have a good game, which I think he did today. Chamberlain with a superb run down the right-hand side, playing it through to Cazorla. Cazorla played it through to Welbeck. Welbeck with the shimmy and then playing it through to Alexis Sanchez, and it was 1-0 to us. And at that point, I didn't want us to go on and win the game 2-3-0. I would rather see us shut up shop and have a good defensive display for the final stage of the game, which we didn't. We continued to press for another goal, and that's where we were punished. We gave away a silly free kick. Sigurdsson, world-class goal to put it in the back of the net. Not much we could have done about that. But after that point, we capitulated. Swansea were the more dominant side. They looked like the ones who were more likely to score. That's exactly what they did shortly after through Gomez. And this is where I said I was going to hold Monreal responsible. But I'm actually going to correct myself there and hold the guy that's put him there responsible. There were 3 people marking Gomez at the time. Gomez, whatever you want to call him. Marking him at the time. You had Gibbs, Ramsey and Monreal marking him. Monreal's a 5'10" guy. He was never going to get in front of the ball, in front of Gomez. And Gomez slots into the back of the net. And it's 2-1 to them. And that's where that really put us to bed. And then we, dwindling on that fact, really, Monreal playing there shouldn't be playing there. He's our second choice left back, playing as our first choice centre back. That speaks absolute volumes. He shouldn't have to be in that situation. And for a club of our stature, it's not acceptable. You wouldn't get Chelsea, even City, even though they've been on a poor run of form, you wouldn't get them doing that. Not even Liverpool are having to do that, and it's appalling from us. I mean, how can you think Monreal can play a centre-back for us? Yeah, like I've already said, he always gives his all for the team, but he's not a centre-back. He's not a centre-back. And like I've already said, Bellerin should have started this game, but I'm repeating myself on the defensive side of things. We all know what should have gone on in that defence today, and we know exactly what didn't happen, and I think that's why we could say we lost the game today. And Wenger, you can kind of predict that, because Shoney's out for a month, you can kind of predict that Monreal is going to continue to start for us as centre-back in the time that he's out, which is a constant source of pain and frustration for every single Arsenal fan alike. But after that, we saw the introductions of Theo Walcott and Jack Wilshere, who should have come on way earlier in the game. They come on in about the 78th, 79th minute, and they've got 10 minutes to prove themselves. They've got 10 minutes to change the game. Great, fantastic. What are they going to do in that time? Walcott, he got himself about the pitch a bit, and he had a good chance to score. But then again, I'm not going to hold him entirely responsible. I don't think it's fair to. He's barely had any time playing for us, and I felt he gave his all when he was on the pitch. And Wilshere, another one who did the same, but they really didn't have enough time to get things going for us. They came on way too late. They should have come on earlier to bolster our defensive situation. Which, why didn't they come on earlier? Just why? And then even the more ludicrous substitution in about the 89th, 90th minute of the game when we brought on Yaya Sanogo. It's laughable. What is he going to do in that 3 or 4 minutes of stoppage time? And he made one terrible header which went absolutely nowhere. But apart from that, he did absolutely nothing for us. And with 4 minutes to go, what is he going to do? Absolutely nothing for us. He's not going to change the game. But this result is going to have awful repercussions for us. And I said in the Anderlecht game, the review of that I did, that we had to be concerned about the mental effect that result would have for us. That's exactly that has become evident today, conceding those 2 goals. It's catastrophic. No other word to use for it. It's abysmal from Arsenal. You could say I'm overreacting, but the thing is, we're now 12 points behind Chelsea, so the league is gone. It's gone. And I'm not being pessimistic at all, I'm being realistic. Are we going to catch up Chelsea? Are there any other teams out there who are going to, apart from Southampton at the moment, that are going to challenge Chelsea for this title? They've got a free go at the title. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say about it. And honestly, I could realistically see us challenging for one trophy this season, and that's retaining the FA Cup, which is great. Honestly, I'd love us to win the FA Cup again. But the point of winning that was that it was meant to be a milestone, it was meant to be a benchmark and a turning point above all things. We should be pushing on from that and going on to bigger and better trophies, which we're not. If anything, we've taken a step backwards a couple of years. This is the kind of result you would have seen in the 2011-12 season, when we were losing to the likes of Norwich and West Brom away. Not now. It's appalling, it's abysmal, it's shocking from Arsenal, absolutely shocking today. But it's left me with no optimism really going into that game against United, which we needed. We needed confidence going into that game. It's a huge game now, but I can't help but feel for the rest of this season in the Premier League, I'm not really looking forward to it all that much, because all we've got to look forward to now is getting top 4. Great. That's what we do season after season after season after season. There's no excitement in it. The only other thing that we've really got going for us is the Champions League, where we're going to finish second and we're going to come up against someone like Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid. and it'd be great if we could progress in that, but realistically it's going to be very hard for us to do so, and it's hard to be left with any optimism because it's all been drained out of me today. I'm not. It really does feel like we've taken a step backwards 2 or 3 years. It really does. Shouldn't be doing it with the squad that we've got. And the squad we've got, what squad have we got? I mean, playing the likes of Matthew Flamini in this game, who shouldn't, in my opinion, shouldn't even be anywhere near that starting 11 at the moment. He just looks more and more reckless with every game he plays. Monreal centre-back. I don't have to keep talking about it. You all know the extremities of playing him there. But what can I say? It's draining, really draining today. But you've got to hope that we can rectify what's happened in the past couple of games. We've got the international break now. We can take a look away from Arsenal for a couple of weeks to the relief of us in a sense. But we've got a huge game against United and then a fairly big game with Dortmund after that. So you've got to hope that we can put things right, praying that Koscielny comes back soon, because that's who we miss above anyone at the moment. And you know, hopefully we can turn things around, but that in effect that is the title gone if we're being realistic. We're not going to make up a 12-point gap on Chelsea. If we do, it'd be a miracle, and that would be the greatest turnaround that we ever do. But we don't look like title contenders, sadly, which is the harsh truth. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on Arsenal's game against Swansea. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like rating, subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV, check out my channel AFC Game by Game, and thank you for watching.